The sirens you hear screaming through the parking lot of the arena tonight aren't just signaling a medical emergency, they are the death knell of the peace we thought we had on Friday Night SmackDown. Welcome back to Wrestling Apocalypse. If you're watching this right now, you've likely seen the grainy, shaky cell phone footage circulating on social media, the kind of footage that makes your stomach do a slow, sick flip. But what happened after the television cameras cut to black is something that will haunt the blue brand for the rest of the decade. Tonight, the main event didn't happen in the ring. It didn't happen under the bright lights or the roar of the pyro. It happened in the cold, damp, concrete shadows of the loading dock. We are talking about Jey Uso, the man who fought for his soul, the man who finally found his independence from the shadow of the bloodline, found buried, broken, and barely conscious under a mountain of heavy production equipment. This wasn't a wrestling segment, folks. This was a calculated hit. And as those ambulance doors slammed shut on Jey Uso tonight, the question isn't just who did this, but is the Jey Uso we know ever coming back? To understand the magnitude of this tragedy, we have to look at the atmosphere backstage before the first match even started. There's been a shadow looming over Jey for weeks. Ever since he made the jump back to the blue brand to handle some unfinished business, he's been a marked man. We saw him earlier in the night, walking through the corridors, looking over his shoulder, his eyes darting toward every flickering light. He didn't have the usual Yeet energy. He didn't have that swagger. He looked like a man who knew a storm was coming but didn't know which direction the wind was blowing. The last time we saw him on screen was a brief, tense backstage interview where he told Kathy Kelly that he was tired of running from ghosts. Little did he know, those ghosts were about to manifest in the most violent way imaginable. About midway through the second hour, the broadcast took a sharp, unscripted turn. We were supposed to be looking at a standard hype package for the United States Championship, but the feed suddenly glitched. The audio cut to a frantic production assistant screaming for help near the equipment bay. The camera followed, shaking, out of focus, pushing past a stunned Grayson Waller and a confused Austin Theory. And then, the world stopped. There he was. Jey Uso's hand was the only thing visible, reaching out from beneath a massive pile of overturned steel trusses, heavy-duty road cases, and shattered lighting rigs. It looked like an industrial accident, but as the crew began to frantically pull the steel away, the truth became sickeningly clear. There were no malfunctions, no frayed wires. This was a deliberate act of sabotage. The energy in the building shifted instantly. You could hear the fans in the arena, who were watching the feed on the big screen, go from confused murmurs to a hollow, terrifying silence. Michael Cole's voice on the headset dropped 3 octaves. He wasn't the voice of the WWE in that moment. He sounded like a man watching a younger brother slip away. Wade Barrett, usually the one to find a witty silver lining in the chaos, sat in stunned silence as the medical team swarmed the area. They spent 10 agonizing minutes just trying to stabilize Jey's neck before they even dared to move the largest piece of the truss. Every time they shifted a case, you could hear the groan of the metal and the faint, pained gasps of a man who has given every ounce of his life to this business. Backstage, our sources at Wrestling Apocalypse are telling us the locker room is in a state of absolute, paralyzed civil war. We saw footage of Cody Rhodes, who happened to be at the building for a dark match, sprinting toward the scene, his face a mask of pure, unadulterated rage. He had to be held back by 10 security guards just to let the paramedics do their jobs. Cody knows better than anyone that when you target Jey, you're targeting the heart of the locker room. But it wasn't just the heroes who were shaken. We caught a glimpse of Solo Sikoa standing on a distant balcony, high above the loading dock, watching the paramedics load Jey onto the stretcher. He didn't say a word. He didn't move. He just stared with those cold, obsidian eyes. Was it the look of a satisfied assassin, or a brother realizing that the family business had finally crossed a line you can't come back from? The fan perspective tonight is a visceral mix of grief and fury. If you look at the trending topics right now, #JusticeForJey is eclipsing everything else in the world of sports. People are pointing out something chilling: that anarchy symbol scratched into the dust on the road cases. Others are frame by frame analyzing the shadows in the background of the footage, claiming they saw a hooded figure lurking near the exit moments before the equipment fell. This is the kind of storytelling that gets under your skin because it feels too real. It reminds us that behind the glitz and the glamour, these men are flesh and blood. When a 500-pound truss falls on a human being, there is no kayfabe to protect the bones from snapping. Think about the psychological consequences here. Jey Uso has spent the last year trying to prove he is more than just a USO. He's been the main event. He's been the bridge between the past and the future. By burying him under the very tools used to build the stage he stands on, the attacker sent a cinematic message: "You don't belong in this light." It's a metaphorical execution. As they wheeled him through the gorilla position on that stretcher, the oxygen mask fogging up with every labored, shallow breath, the entire roster lined the hallway in a spontaneous guard of honor. No one spoke. No one cheered. It was a funeral procession for a man who was still fighting to stay alive. The most chilling moment, however, came as the ambulance was being loaded in the rain. Nick Aldis, the SmackDown general manager, was seen shouting into his phone, demanding that the entire building be locked down. He looked like a man who had lost control of his kingdom. For a split second, he looked at the camera, and you could see the raw panic in his eyes. He knows that if Jey Uso is out of the picture, the thin line between order and total apocalypse on SmackDown has just been erased. He announced that an internal investigation is underway, but we all know how those go. In this business, the truth is usually found in the ring, or in the shadows, not in an HR report. We're going to be tracking Jey's condition 24/7. Our people are stationed at the local trauma center, and we are waiting for the first word on his spinal scans and internal imaging. This is the kind of tragedy that redefines a career. If he comes back, he won't be the dancing, yeet-chanting superstar we saw last week. He will be a man hunted. He will be a man who knows that somewhere in that locker room, someone wants him not just defeated, but erased from existence. The stakes for the upcoming Premium Live event have just been obliterated. Everything is on hold. The titles don't matter right now. The rankings don't matter. The only thing that matters is the identity of the monster who could do this to one of the most respected men in the back. Was it a jealous rival? Was it a ghost from the Bloodline reaching out to pull him back into the dark? Or is there a new force rising on SmackDown that wants to start their reign by killing the king of the main event? I want to hear from you. The Wrestling Apocalypse community is the smartest, most dedicated group of fans in the world, and I know you've been zooming in on that footage. Did you see the figure in the rafters? Do you think this was a message from Roman Reigns, or is this the work of a lone wolf looking to make a name for themselves? Drop your theories, your prayers for Jey, and your yeet tributes in the comments below. We are reading every single one of them tonight as we wait for updates. If you're as devastated by these images as we are, hit that like button to show your support for Jey. Let's get his name trending even higher. Smash that subscribe button and ring the bell, because you do not want to miss our emergency broadcast tomorrow morning. We're going to have an exclusive look at the hidden security footage that Nick Aldis doesn't want the public to see just yet. The sirens are fading into the night, and the equipment is being cleared away, but the stain of what happened tonight will never wash off the blue brand. Jey Uso is fighting for his life, and the apocalypse is officially at our doorstep. I've been your host for Wrestling Apocalypse. Watch your back, stay loud, and we'll see you at the next bell. The sirens you hear screaming through the parking lot of the arena tonight aren't just signaling a medical emergency, they are the death knell of the peace we thought we had on Friday Night SmackDown. Welcome back.